Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover Diaclone City. This is a custom playset that I've created for my figures. I do like to build playsets, and I decided to really do some customization options and really liven up this playset a little bit. I'm going to go through each individual area and show you guys a little more closer detail and, really kind of get into what this thing is. And Bumblebee here is going to give us a tour. Starting out with the refueling area, this is where all the Autobots and any other Diaclone guys would go to refuel their vehicles. There's clearly a area here. It's all kind of picked out with a little bit of your paint pen, and this has some decals here for a little bit of detail here on the sides and here in the front. Not to mention some little bit of decals here on the gas pumps themselves. And if you move Mirage here out of the way, you can tell there's plenty of room here, even for, say, a Diaclone skiff could actually land here. One of these little Diattacker, little Guts Blocker shuttlecraft can actually land here as well. And it does happen to have like a little hose here, so you can just, refuel the ship and then allow it to just take off. Same thing with little Mirage here. You can just back him in here, and then you can refuel him as well. The great thing about this area here is it's kind of its own little area for just refueling. It's got a little bit of detail here, which is kind of hard to see as high up as I am here, but let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit and show you a little more detail on it, if I can get my there it goes. As you can see, there's some spare tires down here. They're kind of molded into the plastic, as well as this kind of like a hose going along here and here with a lot of these little electronic units and such. And then it's all right next to this nice little kind of a facade for another gimmick we're about to get into here. So we'll get on with that part. The next part we're going to look at here is this is Wheeljack's laboratory. It happens to have a nice little area here where it's got a working elevator, which you just turn this little crank here. It does have the number 93 right here on the elevator here to kind of mark toward Generation 2 as well. It does have a very G2 yet Diaclone vibe. This allows you to kind of raise this up all the way. And if you wanted to, you can just park Mirage on the underside here and then lower it back down. If you come down here where the parking garage area is, because Wheeljack's laboratory happens to have a parking garage, you're able to you just get your little Mirage right out of there. It just kind of fits right inside. You notice there's a bit of a arrow here, kind of picked out here on the ground as well. And it's got a lot of really cool decal detail all over it. I do find it very nice. It's got a lot going on with it. And not to mention that the power suits actually fit very well up here. Also pretenders, if you guys want to call them that as well. I do look at them as powered suits as well as pretenders. But he does happen to have a lot of little controls and such, like just computer controls here, and there's some here on the side over here. There's some behind them as well. You know, giving you a warning, beware of blast, because you know it's Wheeljack's laboratory. What do you expect? And then it says escape hatch. I'm assuming this is probably this tiny little hatch here on the bottom here. It's got a little hole. It's kind of hard to see right there, but you know, Wheeljack's got his little laboratory here, so you know he's doing his thing here with Sparkplug, because you know Sparkplug is usually the one that helps him out. So he's got his nice little laboratory here in Diaclone City. Taking a look at the rescue area, this is where Hotspot and Red Alert and even Pyro here would hang out. This is their little rescue garage area. It's also attached to what is known as the Diaclone Academy. So it allows them to have rescue vehicles to be able to be on scene immediately, especially since, you know, it's right next to Wheeljack's laboratory, which explosions tend to happen over there quite a bit, and we don't want anything to happen to the gas pumps. And then, obviously, we don't want anything to happen to any of the cadets at the academy here. You just don't want them to get hurt dealing with anything going on over here. It's also got this little dinging bell kind of thing, so that way, you know, if you wanted to drive by there and you ding it, it lets them know that emergency vehicles are leaving the area. And right here, right in front of the emergency area, there's a little helipad. This helipad here would be perfect, you know, for just your little Diaclone skiffs to kind of land on, or you can even put a helicopter here if you wanted to. Anything you really want to just kind of park right here on the little helipad. And it does show where the roads kind of drive around the outside of it, so that way this doesn't actually get hit. And here is the area for the cadets to work on their power suit skills. The power suits will actually park here in this area. It actually has little P's in this area here to designate parking for the little Diaclone suits. And I do happen to have a couple little faux ones here that I can just kind of put anywhere I want. And I tend to put them over here because they are a hollow back, but that's fine. It's really neat. It's a lot of parking in this area here. They've got a couple cautionary symbols here, and then a little bit of a cautionary thing going here around the corner. Nothing highly exciting, but it's nice to have the academy right here. So these guys here can actually get to know their powered suits and their pretender outfits and such to expand on them, or if they ever need to repair them. This is kind of an ideal area to do that. Now moving on up to the what I call the actual repair depot. We have a huge wall here with a bunch of electronic diagnostic equipment along with a couple screens. Obviously it's got that big old Autobot emblem right there, and you can see that the Diaclone guys happen to fit just fine with this. Hound here is trying to help repair Rapido because he kind of went through a bit of a mess. And what's great is you can actually lift this up. This has ability to be raised, which is pretty cool. And it'll kind of friction hold in place. So that way you can get underneath him and fix him up if you need to. If you notice, there's a hose back here. This is actually for a little repair drill, so that way you can repair him if he's needing, like, say, a wheel replaced or something. It's got this nice little repair drill here. It's just like a little impact drill. You can just kind of do whatever you need to do. And then it's got a little place here for that drill to be put back into, so that way it's not just hanging out and getting all up in the way. And as you can see, there is a couple other buildings here in the back. This right here happens to be a warehouse storage, so that way they can store parts and such for fixing any of the Diaclone figures and vehicles and any of the stuff that actually needs repairing. That's what's great about this. And it happens to have a little set of tools here on the ground next to it, so that way they can, do their work. This is also an air garage that opens up, so that way you can easily just park. Well, we're going to park a good old cup here in there because he's part of the protection force that actually helps protect the city. And this is primarily where the most of the command stuff comes from. It comes from this and the tower next to it. We have a garage area here, also got Prowl parked in there as well, because these guys here are pretty much the protection force. This is kind of the heartbeat of Diaclone City. It's what really kind of keeps everything going. In front of the Diaclone headquarters area, you happen to have this little piece here that can actually be moved either direction. So if you wanted to make this car go more forward, you could, or if you want to do this to kind of force it down the ramp, you can. So I got a good old red alert sitting here, and you just press on this little blue button here and it will move this little piece here out of the way and allow it to go down the ramp, which is pretty cool. I love that. It's so fun. And right next to this happens to be a couple big power plant turbines, so that way it's got a little bit of turbine force and such in order to kind of, power the city. The city's got to have power. They just can't just come from anywhere. And speaking of power, let's check out the top of this tower here. This tower's got the Diaclone emblem right here on the entire facade. If you did notice, it does happen to have the Diaclone patrol emblems as well on the tower. And not to mention some of the little windows here kind of picked out with some little bitty stickers I put on there. I think it looks really great. I'm a big fan of this thing. And here we are, we reached the top of the city. And you can tell there's this gigantic billboard there that says Transformers on it, which is pretty nice. And what is this? We have a Decepticon, right? Well, the Decepticons, or Destrons, or whatever you guys want to call them, happen to have their own thing going on. I can move all the sound wave here out of the way. And then we got this whole building here that pops up. And this whole building here is actually a faux power plant. It's there for pretty much espionage. And what's great is you can take good old Soundwave here, put him in his car mode real quick. See, car mode. He's got a pocket here on the back that he can actually park in. And then you can just decompress the entire building. And now he's hidden. And nobody would know there was even any Decepticons or Destrons in the area causing any problems. Wanted to give you guys a bit of a flyover, but as you guys can see, there's the tires I was talking about earlier, and all the detail there in the front of the store area, and then Wheeljack's laboratory. Just wanted to give you guys a little more of a more in-depth, detailed look at what's actually going on here. I have to move. There you go. Let's give you guys a bit of a detailed look. I think you guys can really take it in because it's really cool. I am really a big fan of these smaller scaled setups I've been doing. And there's the Academy and the Firehouse. This does happen to go down. You can close it. Got that nice emblem right there. A little bit of I pretty much consider these kind of solar panel type of things here on the top. And then you got a little detail there picked out. And then you go all the way up here. By the way, this is all painted. These are not stickers. And then you got the whole repair area over here. And you can tell he's got a lot of different decals and such going on. I'm going to pound out of the way so you guys can take a good look at the stickers on that part as well. I think it's funny because it has jazz thrown on there. You never know. Could be Jazz's bar, could be hanging out back there too. You got the tower, along with the Enforcer headquarter garage. And then you got that whole power source area there. And to mention some stickers going a little bit up here, and then transformer one. And then this right here. By the way, this is actually, these are all painted on. So I tried my best to do paint and also decals. So that way I can kind of really bring it out. But I didn't really do an insane amount of paint. Overall, you guys can see how much work I actually put into this. This is most people don't know this is a Hot Wheels Stow and Go that I customized. And this kind of just shows you what you can do with your imagination and really create something that is really a display option for your Transformers or Diaclone figures or whatever. This does work very well with that. I mean, you guys can tell I happen to have a little Spike Wiki right here. And he scales very well with the GoBots, but he also scales very well with the entire setup itself. It works very well even with Kabaya kits. Here's Roadfire. You guys can see I have Sonic Bomber up there. So it's one of those things that just kind of just goes almost. It works. It just all works, which is insane, and I love this. This is one reason why I really encourage you guys out there to kind of save and salvage some of these play sets that come out, because we don't get very many play sets when it comes to robot, like just like robot play patterns and such, and Transformers and G.I. Joe kind of has their play sets, but not an insane amount of stuff. But if you guys are more into the smaller scale stuff like I am, this is a really, really good option for you all to really get into, because when it comes to playsets is a very, very niche thing, especially nowadays. It's not what it used to be back in the 80s, and I really do think it's awesome to see, you know, just a recreation of something like this. And then it's like I said, I plan on getting into more of the other playsets I've done. More of the other ones are more of a scratch build. This right here was actually a salvage. I got this at a local thrift shop. I think I paid $5 for it, and it had everything in it. The stickers were destroyed on it. It did have some nasty bits on it, but it happened to still have the lift, which is often missing. Same thing with the little hoses were not ripped and pulled off, which is kind of crazy. It just seems like a kid threw stickers on it, probably played with it 3 or 4 times, thrown it in the closet, and wouldn't touch it again. And that's where I really kind of come in and say, look guys, salvage these things. These things are great for display options, especially if you're a Spy Changers collector, or if you're into Hot Wheels scale stuff. I mean, this would actually even work with your combiners because your combiners are about Hot Wheels scale anyway, so it would work as well. So that's if you guys are collecting Generation 1 and Generation 2. I'm not talking modern figures, I'm talking older ones. The only modern stuff I really have on here are my little power suits, and Core Optimus Prime, you can tell, works very well up here as well. He actually scales very well with this set, and it doesn't look out of scale or out of place. He actually looks like he is the dominant leader that's there, and it just works. But anyway, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another Transformer Diaclone review. And I'll catch you guys later because I have plenty more coming here all the way. That's it for now. Bye.